So how was this more amazing in the CGI department instead of the other films of Disney, boy? Like, how did it work so well? And how come Disney tried spending $200 million and they
actually,
fucked up?
how much is the budget for this film? Actually,
I'll tell you right now.
I'm actually curious. And then compare it to another film. I mean, I'm not in the offices. I don't make the big bucks and the shot calls like they do, and laugh at everyone's misery. Well, the kids go and use their parents' money to see this film. But this film, at least, what I could say is that it had the acting there, it had the costume designs and everything for the film. The story's kind of plain and simple. If you think about it, it's kind of like
$150 million.
And how much was Stitch?
For Stitch, $100 million.
It's not that bad.
Because the only reason why it was $100 million,
Because they only had to do Stitch and the other guys.
well, not just that, it's because it was going to be a Disney Plus film, and it was never going to be a full-fledged film. So basically, let's go right into it, boy. It is almost the same as How to Train the Dragon from the animation.
From
so
2010.
Yeah, 2010. If you've seen that film, you're going to get exactly what you come here for. You want to see Hiccup with his, bonding with Toothless, and how basically he becomes the trainer of the dragons.
Yeah, and pretty much he breaks the taboo of the dragons are bad completely, and they've been raiding us and killing us. We've been fighting them and killing them. We've killed thousands of dragons. They killed hundreds of us, which Hiccup mentions early on. Yeah. But we learn in the beginning of the film, he's terrible. He's the son of the chief, wants to kill a dragon.
Yeah, he wants to make his dad proud.
Yeah, but that's all he really wants to do is he wants to make his village and his dad proud. But every time he does something, he makes it worse, which we learn that he is different. He doesn't. Astrid, drills it in him too.
Yeah, he's not very much brave. He's not very much, like the physique. He's not strong enough.
He is intelligent, though.
He is intelligent, and that's what he works at. He works at like technology and trying to improve it, and weapons are differently. Yeah. Like he likes to structure and build stuff. That's what he likes to do.
Yeah, which in the beginning of the film, instantly they get attacked.
Oh yeah,
they sound the alarms. They're getting attacked by dragons raiding them. They're fighting them close quarters, punching them, and all that type stuff. And at one scene, he makes Nick Frost's character watch over Hiccup.
Oh yeah.
But he's like, every time Nick Frost watches him, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do something else, or I'm gonna join the fight.
Yeah.
But anyways, he sees Astrid and everybody else trying to fight, trying to make their name for themselves.
What were the Astrid's group called?
I don't know.
The firefighters.
Oh, really? I missed that then.
Yeah, because they were the firefighters that put out the villagers. Yeah, and they're the next future for the next chief, like warriors.
But at one scene, we get, what do they call Toothless?
The Wyvern?
No. They call him Night Fury.
Night Fury, yeah.
Because he only attacks at night and he only destroys.
And they don't see him. Yeah, they never saw him.
They've never seen how he looks or how he might look. But Hiccup saw him and he's like, how am I going to make my name for myself? He has a ballista. He goes out there, he builds it, runs out there, shoots Toothless.
Yeah, and he got him. He was like, I'm surprised. We got him. And that's the cool part about him, because apparently everybody are so concentrated on other different dragons. He was so fixated on this specific dragon, the legendary dragon. And nobody knows how to spot him.
Yeah.
And basically he says the only way to spot him is look through the stars and see there is a shadowy figure kind of blending in with the night.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's clever.
Yeah.
And he managed to hit that. And that's what bring down the Wyvern.
Yeah. Brings Toothless down, which we save, but he gets attacked by a dragon. His dad had a dragon already pinned down, but he had to go save Hiccup.
Yeah.
Things started breaking, falling. The dragon escaped. They loot all their sheeps and they fly out.
Yeah, that's what they were after too. They were after food, and we will jump into why they were doing it. But if you saw the film, you know what it was.
Yeah.
So exactly, he managed to screw up for everybody in the townsfolk. Everybody's mad at Hiccup. They're like, "How could you?" It's of course the chief's son again, and obviously the chief's, the chief is always like, son, you're not built for this. You got to leave all this behind.
Yeah, that was fucked.
And he's like, oh, all of me? Yes, like that. He was trying to be positive in a like a cold-hearted kind of way, and it was brutally honest. And he was sad because he really wanted to make his dad proud. And obviously, Nick
Nick
Frost. What was his name for the character? Gobbler or Gobber?
Something like that. We'll
Yeah.
just call him Nick Frost.
Yeah, and basically they were talking about him, and he was overhearing him because he was talking with Hiccup. He's like, "Look, you're not made for this, kid. You're not gonna be able to become a Viking like we are. Maybe you should be stuck in, to a smith, build, like make armor for us." He's like, "No, I don't want to do any of that. I want to be like you guys,
Dragon killer warrior.
Yeah, I just want to make you guys proud." And this is the part where it kind of heartwarming because you're like, damn, man, it hits home because you just want to do everything possible that you can, but you end up failing anyway.
Yeah.
Like you could feel it too. Like you could kind of feel it. Like this is hard stuff. At least Nick Frost understand. Oh, God damn it.
He does. Well, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, he does, and he understand it, but his dad doesn't. He's like, he's never gonna become a Viking. There's no way. And obviously he's going to become...
It's just different, which, we do learn that he does because there's a meeting. Everyone's thinking of leaving and stuff like that because of tales of a nest. They know there has to be a nest of dragons.
I heard a dark truth to this. I saw a while back of a analysis of the How to Train the Dragon. Apparently the reason why the chief went to the nest right after is so he could get rid of some of the people. Because you know how there was food
shortages.
So it was kind of like a dick
crazy.
move from that.
Yeah.
So because it was right after, and it was like true, and I was like, holy God, that makes sense if he was gonna ready to do that.
Yeah.
Like you dick.
Yeah, for real.
But it made sense. Yeah. Yeah, for a chief to do that, it's like if we're gonna die hungry, we'd rather not die hungry.
Yeah.
We'd rather die as warriors.
Basically, it's what he does.
Yeah.
He unites everybody. Tells them we got to get this nest. He does, I guess the shaman does the thing, how close were we to the nest? Close is what they get. And they say, that's good enough for me. We set sail.
Even though they don't know where the nest is at. It's
they
like going
have
through
an
the fog.
idea. Yeah, well, they have an idea of where they are.
Yeah.
They
just say it doesn't go well.
Everyone gears up, but that's where he gets Nick Frost, and he's like, I need to talk to you. That's where he basically unloading his burden and stuff like that.
Here we go again.
Yeah, he's like, I need you to watch Hiccup and train these fighters.
Yeah, these future fighters. Yeah, he's like, train them for the next ancestors that will make them proud. And he's like, come on, how about Hiccup? Because his dad doesn't want him to be part of it.
Yeah.
But, Nick Frost managed to actually go, like, get him on board.
Yeah.
Do what you can. And this is the part where the dad is confronting Hiccup, like, all right, son. Or this is when Hiccup actually sneaks out and basically try to get the wife.
He sneaks out, finds where Toothless is.
Yeah.
Tied up, passed out. He thought he was dead. He was going to brag about it, and then he was like, why couldn't you be dead? Toothless is alive. Then which, it's true. When he says later, it's like, why didn't you kill Toothless? And he's like, well, because he was scared.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was scared for him, And he frees him. He frees Toothless. Toothless growls at him, runs off. He thinks he's gone. He's like, what the fuck did I do? He goes back. He's like, I'm not fit for this. This is where his dad comes in, and he tells him about the tournament.
Yeah, like you're entering it. You're gonna finally become one of us.
He's like, you need the push. He's like, you got my approval and stuff like that. And he's like, oh my gosh.
Because you kind of like it because he finally realized that he can't kill.
Yeah.
And the dad is realizing that he can't protect him forever.
Yeah.
So it's an exchange of like they understand each other
Yeah.
now. And it didn't work out
Yeah,
because he just understood the opposite.
So he's trying to say no, he doesn't want it, but he's like, you got to do it. He's like, whatever. This is the axe and stuff like that. Yeah. Is that when he gives him the helmet?
Yeah, the helmet, his breastplate.
No, that's later.
Oh, okay.
I think that's later. But yeah, he gives him the axe, I think.
Yeah, the axe.
Yeah. And then he's like, you're going to need it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because apparently Hiccup finally told him, like, I'm not meant for this, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, you are right.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he's like, no, you are going to enter this tournament no matter what. Yeah. Because he's starting to feel impatient with them.
Yeah.
And, obviously.
That's where he's like, I'll be back, probably.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know.
So this is where they set sail and they go find the nest.
I kind of find it funny that basically each time when he did mentions about that, it's like they're kind of used to it because a lot of people just die.
They're Viking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I understand if you die or not.
No.
This is the part where obviously he finally starts, going into the tournament.
Training.
And basically this is where you meet the group again.
Yeah, which we know the future fighters, the comedic group that we learn. The only one that's really skilled is Astrid. the bigger guy's knowledgeable and stuff like that. The twins, and then the cocky guy that's trying to get his dad to notice him.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Anyways, they do their first trial, which was the burping dragon that burps like fire, which they all failed. They all did horrible.
Yeah, even Astrid did.
Yeah, she did terrible, and then he's like, "You guys got to learn better and stuff like that, and do better." That's where they go up in the nighttime, when they sit in the table. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, the Night Fury thing, right?"
Oh, you're talking about
The
when
book.
they start realizing the book and studying.
Yeah. He's like, "There's nothing on Night Furies," and then he thought about the next morning. Well, him and Astrid have a confrontation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, she's gonna be chieftain. And he's like, you know what? I know it. I don't care. Have it.
I did like this chemistry too, because she's like, all my life I've been an orphan and I don't have anybody with me, and you're the one who's been having all this stuff, and for some reason you don't want to be chief.
Yeah.
And
She was so
she
confused.
was actually threatening him, like, so what would happen if I get that house of a chieftain?
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna get your house, and he's like, okay, I
Yeah,
don't
go
doubt
ahead,
you
take
will.
it. And
He's
she's like, wait, what are you doing
Yeah.
here?
which it shows that he doesn't care. He does not care about that stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't care about it. Basically, to be honest, he's kind of madly in love with her too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, obviously in the third film, she gets her wish, if you know what I mean. So obviously with that confrontation that she was talking about it, obviously she was challenging him, but he doesn't accept it. This is when he finally starts going into the place where Toothless is at.
Yeah.
And obviously he starts studying him and wondering what's going on.
He was
with
drawing
him.
him, but he dropped his pen.
Yeah. Well,
or
because
did he fall?
Well, he was looking at him because he couldn't fly properly.
Yeah, he realized that he couldn't get out.
Yeah, and he basically was just running around. He was hungry. He couldn't eat because he couldn't get the fish. He was basically just... What was the saying what the dad saying? Like, a down dragon is a dead dragon?
Yeah.
So that's what it was. And that's what Toothless was. No matter what, he could probably die easily.
Yeah.
So he was looking at him and he was kind of feeling like kind of sad for it. So he started making sketches off this. I don't know what it is, like this flipper, I guess.
It's just like a
wing.
Yeah, an extra wing. But he fell. Right, he fell, and then he confronted Toothless.
Yeah, but Toothless was like,
yeah,
nah.
this is where they have like a comedic kind of thing where he didn't kill him. He threw his sword or his knife down. He wanted to touch him. He wouldn't let him touch him.
No.
He left. Yeah, this time he came back with the fish.
Yeah, this was disgusting.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because he gave him the fish because he was really hungry, and instead of eating the whole thing, he kind of spit some out
that was nasty.
so they could share it. He's like, "Go ahead, eat it." He's like, "Do
Swallow
I have to?"
it,
Like
that was
like,
gross.
It was nasty, but he ate it, and obviously it was one of those heartwarming things and bonds that they will get together, and showing them the stuff. And obviously he's starting to look what he could do to get closer to him. Start drawing, and you see Toothless coming in. He's like, "Well, what are you drawing?"
Yeah, Toothless draws too.
Yeah, and obviously you see Toothless was doing like squiggles, I guess.
Yeah.
And every single time when
stepped on it,
he gets upset. So he gets, he starts, not stepping on it. He got really close to him, and this is the part where the famous touch scene is. Where the trailer.
Yeah, he touches he finally touches Toothless.
Yeah, and it was popular.
Yeah,
this is the good stuff.
Yeah,
they're bonding.
Yeah, this is where he's realizing that they have stuff.
Oh, after this, he started building the sketches for the wing.
Yeah, he builds them a wing. He brings them back a whole bunch of fish.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be studying stuff like that, but Astrid's starting to see that he's disappearing a lot. She follows him into the woods. She lost him.
Yeah.
He brings a really nice bag full of fish and stuff, eel, but no eel. He doesn't. Yeah, he hates eels. He managed to put it on him. Toothless freaked out, but he got on him.
Yeah, he got it. He started flying.
This is where we get them their first trial and errors, flying and stuff like that.
Yeah. And this is the good stuff because you start seeing like he's starting to use this stuff against the tournament. Yeah, because you see the eel.
No, he sneezed.
Oh.
Because when they were flying, they crashed quickly and they fell into dandelion steel.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So he realized he was sneezing and he's like, I could use this.
Yeah.
So that's when we learned the tournament stuff where he was defeating them and it was getting the shamans like notice
Oh yeah, yeah.
because he was doing all these tricks and stuff like that. So this is where we get a montage of
Like the scratches and
yeah, he
basically
likes being scratched. The fish get back inside
Yeah.
to eat the fish. All tricks and stuff like that. And they're all very confused. Like, how is this even happening?
Like, how is this?
Yeah,
wimpy
the blind
kid-
spot,
Yeah.
sound, and stuff like that. We learn that they have all these stuff that confuse them.
Oh yeah, I think he skipped some of the head where he finally got the famous scene of finally him. He's starting to finally get to write.
Yeah,
Toothless. And this is where the beautiful song kicks in from the How to Train Your Dragon. It was nice.
is that when they finally got it? Oh, this is
Yeah.
where he loses his sketch.
Yeah,
and
and
then-
he was like
yeah.
practicing on it.
He's like, you know what? I got this.
Yeah,
They do it. They manage to fly. Toothless, Hiccup could do it.
yeah, exactly. And they just managed to be in sync. They got really prepared. They know what they're doing. They're pros finally.
Yeah.
And this is the
Dad
part.
comes back defeated.
Yeah, he defeated. He fucked up because they went into the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere, and
Got told what's up.
exactly by the dragons. And there's a reason why
Yeah.
he went out there.
The only good thing out of it was apparently Hiccup's the talk of the town, which he was like,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, we could finally talk about your son now.
Yeah, he's like, my Hiccup. He left all this behind.
Yeah, your
Um,
old Hiccup is dead.
Yeah.
And I love it because they were talking about like he died. He's like, what? He's dead.
Yeah.
But in reality, it was just like his old self died.
Yeah.
This is the part where he was like starting to
Yeah.
get the breastplate.
He's
From
no
his
no.
mother.
Before that, they have I think one more tournament or thing, and then she was telling him like, you better not win. Like, I need this. Astrid told him that.
Oh yeah,
He beats the dragon. I don't remember how. Oh, by rubbing it.
yeah,
And it passes out, whatever. So he wins the tournament. She's pissed. He didn't want to win, but he got like attacked.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, so he rubbed it. Then after all that, the tournament's over. He realizes that he's gonna have to kill a dragon, so he runs to go see Toothless. But Astrid followed him. And she's
Yeah.
like, there you are. This is how you learned all these tricks. She's like, this is Night Fury, whatever.
I'm gonna go tell. And
Yeah,
she
he's
start
like,
running,
no, don't grab that, blah, blah, blah. Catches her.
Took her to the spot.
Yeah, which we get this like nice scene of like I like the graphics and stuff like that with
yeah.
the Northern Lights and stuff like that. Like, we're not gonna take you down until he's like, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'll show you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll show you
Yeah.
how the dragon is.
So we get this whole scene of she's like, all right, I get it. She, he's Toothless being an asshole, flying around, rude.
I did like how she say, "He's like, so what are you gonna do? How are you gonna convince the town?
Yeah.
Are you gonna take every single one of them into
Yeah, a
this
nice
nice ride?
Yeah.
Like each and every
He's
single
like,
one
I
of
don't
them?
know yet.
Yeah,
But he's like, I'll
think of
Yeah,
something.
he's like, give me till tomorrow.
and he's really thinking about it.
So while he's thinking about it and he goes home, that's when his dad and him have the talk. Which this is where he gets the breastplate helmet. He's
From
like,
his
"It's your
mother."
mother's." He's like, "No, we got a matching set." And then he's like, "I don't think I could do this," but he's like, "You will. You made me proud and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
we'll see tomorrow."
You're finally gonna become the Viking
Yeah.
that you promised that you would,
Yeah.
because they promised each other. They
Yeah.
really did. He's like, I will do this, and obviously, I'm keeping my word, and you're gonna be able to become the Viking that I always wanted you
Yeah.
to become. But he doesn't. He has second thoughts, and obviously, he's just worried what he's gonna do tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this is the tournament. What happens into the
The next day.
the next day?
Which, he's waiting. Which, that was a nice shot of him standing there waiting and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. We get this flame dragon. She was like, what are you going to do? He's like, I forget what he says. Well, his dad is hyping him up.
yeah.
He's like, if you told me that was Hiccup or something, he's like, I would have laughed. He knows.
Like, I would have just stringed him on a boat and sail him off
Yeah.
the distance and burn it on fire. Yeah, it was good.
He
It was good
hypes up
stuff.
Hiccup.
He was
then
picking his weapons,
Yeah.
and he's like, he
he
grabs
picked
a knife.
what did he say? I would have chosen that.
Yeah, I would have chosen the axe.
Yeah.
He's like, just give him a chance.
Yeah. Dragon comes out. He puts his weapons down, tries to touch the dragon.
Ew, he was getting upset. Like, my boy?
Yeah.
The dragon lover?
Yeah.
No.
He said stop, and then he banged it. It made the dragon freak out.
Yeah.
So
He was- and you start hearing Toothless in the back, all the way back to his
he
hiding
heard the
spot.
dragon scream, like screech.
Yeah, Screech.
So Toothless managed to actually like fight his way out, running over there.
He
Makes
was
his way.
worried.
Yeah,
See? It was a nice bond.
Yeah.
It was so amazing.
because they bonded.
Yeah, it's like a dog
Yeah.
going after his
Yeah.
owner. He's like, I'm going to protect
It did
you.
feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Um,
came in crashing.
Yeah, he came in.
fighting
He
him.
blew it up with smoke. He fought the dragon to where it went back in.
Yeah.
And then they the dad and all of them try to go in there. Aster tries to stop him.
I was a little upset with Hiccup a little bit, as always in the
Because he
animation.
lets him fucking...
Because he lets him capture,
Yeah.
Toothless. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine if that is your dog?
Yeah.
You're not going to let that happen. But obviously...
It reminded me of Transformers
Exactly.
with Bumblebee, the first one.
All right.
At least he was trying.
Yeah, he was trying. And it just
Yeah.
sucks seeing Toothless as he has no idea what to do because
Yeah,
Hiccup
but-
told him to not
Yeah.
fight back.
Which is crazy because this is spoilers for the second one, but
Yeah.
Hiccup or Toothless was about to kill him, and in the second one, Toothless kills him. So, but anyways,
Yeah.
he's like, "Don't do it!" Like, so he punches him. They wrap him down. They hold him down. They caught the Night Fury.
Yeah. And he was scared.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't hurt him."
Yeah.
But he's like, "Dad, you gotta listen to me." He's like, "This whole
Not
entire
another
time-"
word.
Yeah.
Like that.
He's-
Don't talk to me.
He basically, he said, he's like, he showed me. He's like, he showed you the nest.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Did I say nest?" He's like, "We're rolling out now."
Yeah. He's like, how? He's like, to Hiccup. Because I like the scene because they started
Yeah,
talking to
I'm
each
telling
other.
you, he was a good actor.
Yeah, he was really amazing.
I don't know who he was.
He was scary. So I hate to have a dad like that. But yeah, he was like on him and telling him where is the cave and how exactly he found it. Hiccup was trying to warn him there is something else that is like
Oh, yeah,
basically
why they're doing it,
Yeah,
yeah.
why they're doing the things that they're doing. It's like a hive. It's like a beehive. There's a bee queen that commanding all the dragons to do.
Yeah, if they don't bring enough food,
he eats them. And this is the part where he's just like he did not care.
Yeah,
He's like,
he
I'm
did
gonna
not give
use
a fuck.
whatever means necessary to get rid of the nest. And he said, all right, the only way to do it is because, Toothless is the one who took them there. And he figured out so it needs a dragon to go over there to find the nest. And he did. He's using Toothless to go navigate the seas. And that's what he does.
Pretty smart.
Yeah, exactly. He
Yeah.
found out. And this is the part where he's like, please, Dad, just listen to me. Like, he is not who you think he is. And the dad from the shadows is like, get away from me. Don't go near the dragon. You are not my son. And he's-
Fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, God
Yeah.
damn. DreamWorks, how could you? Who hurt you
Yeah.
this way? It really hurts. And then all of a sudden, he walks away. He locks the door. But I
He
guess
looks at it one more time. When
Yeah.
he's on the ship and they're
Oh, yeah.
sailing, he saw that Hiccup was looking and he's just all mad.
Yeah,
when
and
they
you
set
see
sail.
his dad, too, like, kind of hurting. too.
Yeah. He's
Because
like,
he doesn't
"Fuck."
want to do that.
Yeah. But he's pissed and stubborn.
And this is the part where you see all the boats sailing off into the distance, ready for war.
Yeah. I think he was up at a hill.
Yeah,
thinking,
just thinking.
and then Astrid comes and she's pretty much who tells him like, "What are you gonna do about it? Why didn't you kill?"
Dragon.
Yeah, he's like, I'm like the first non-dragon killer in a long time, and she's like, "But you're the first dragon rider."
Yeah, you're different.
Yeah, and you're different. And
But tell me why you didn't kill the dragon. Tell
he
me.
was scared.
Because the moment I saw the dragon, he was scared. And he reminded me of me.
Yeah. That's what he said.
So what now? How are you going to get him back?
Probably
Probably something stupid. And that's what he does. But I'm going to need some help. And this is the part where he gets the gang. Basically, he gets everybody to basically start bonding with different dragons that they had in the training area. And this is the part where you start seeing everybody touching the dragon's head. And I don't know if that's how it works. I think it should have been days, but it's basically all night.
Yeah.
And they were just like touching their hands, and it was like, please, Hiccup, don't leave me with this dragon.
Yeah.
And this is the part where they stayed for a while. And this is the part where you start seeing the dad in the sea navigating the waters. And this time he knows what he's doing because Toothless is taking them.
Yeah, you realize that the other dragons weren't attacking them. Then they literally built slingshots, destroyed the mountain, and made a hole.
Catapults.
Yeah, thank you. You literally see like a shit ton of dragons, just like bats, like chilling. They all fly out, run.
Yeah.
And then they're like, that was it. We did it. We won.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, there's something else. That's where this Godzilla dragon comes out.
Yeah, the biggest dragon ever. And they couldn't do anything to it. The catapults wasn't working. They basically were outsized. And basically the dragon, all it did was through one flamethrower. And it burned almost every single boat.
Sank Toothless pretty much down.
Yeah. And this is the part where you finally say, like, the dad is like, I'm going to face it. I'm going to give everybody a chance to escape while I use this catapult to get its attention. and what's his name, Frost,
Yeah, real homie.
our boy kid. He's like,
What,
you
you
know,
say I'm a big softy too? Or
yeah, I'm a
something?
big softy. It's
Yeah.
like the only softest thing is your teeth.
Yeah.
See, the jokes hit. They're really
Yeah.
good.
No, they're funny. I was
Yeah.
laughing a lot.
And he managed to get their attention, and they're ready to die. But then all of a sudden, you see the gang come in with Hiccup and Astrid. They start blasting the dragon, the big one, while Hiccup is trying to save the Toothless. And obviously, he couldn't do it. He was ready. He was almost close to die.
They were both about to die.
Yeah,
But his dad pulls him out.
and he goes for the dragon.
Yeah, he goes back out there, frees Toothless. Toothless flies out a little bit.
and grabs his dad too and drops him.
Yeah.
And this is the part where you start seeing like, I'm so sorry. I just tried to defend. Like I was just trying to protect you.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't mean the things
He's like,
I
I
said.
know, Dad.
And this is the part where you start seeing finally the showdown between the big wyvern, or what is a dragon? It's a giant ass dragon. That's all you know.
Yeah, we'll just say, yeah.
And you see Toothless going up and start using those fireballs, which I could not give more credit because I like the sound of it. Like,
Yeah, no,
it
I
was
do
really
like that.
good. It was really
basically Blue is.
Yeah.
They had a plan to take him all the way down, all the way up. I mean,
good. Oh yeah.
get them to follow him up, which again, the props to CGI and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Blast them. They dive down, which is I guess what they've been doing the whole entire time and practicing flying.
It kind of got me scared a little bit because you know how they showed like a lot of fog,
Yeah,
and you start seeing like flames, and then
that was cool.
that was cool, but I was afraid they won't show more of it. But luckily they did.
No, they did. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad.
because Disney would have cheapskate out of that.
Oh,
They would just
yeah,
put
I
the
think so,
smoke and
too.
that was it. But it was cool. So you start seeing this battle, and you start seeing like he's shooting their wings, so it won't be as strong, so it can propel up because they were diving. Like what did he did? Like he was diving towards a volcano mountain.
He was diving for he could try to get it to where it opened its mouth and
Yeah.
get a clear shot to shoot him, which he did. And that motherfucker crashed.
Oh yeah,
Dude, when I saw him crash, I was like, God damn, it was like a missile.
it was. It was
Yeah,
a big
like,
missile,
I was like, holy shit.
and he erupted and he died.
Yeah. But they crashed.
Even Toothless fell with Hiccup.
Yeah, they both fell. They both crash landed. They literally thought Hiccup was dead. But Hiccup did lose.
Oh wait, well Hiccup was there. Like basically, the dad was like, I should have never done this. I'm so sorry, my boy. But and now I lost a wife and a kid. Luckily, Toothless, his wing saved his life, but not all of it. Because in the moment you start seeing like back in the village, you see Hiccup waking up. He's like, oh wow, I'm back in the village.
Yeah, he's like, I'm home.
Like I'm home, surprisingly. And all of a sudden, you start seeing him kind of trying to stand, but it was difficult for him because obviously he lost a leg. Can you imagine that? A
No.
character? There is no such thing as a character that gets injured so badly like that. Is there ever
Yeah.
one like that?
I don't know. And a kid, too.
Maybe in anime, yeah, but not
Of
in
course, anime.
animation. Because that was shocking. Because when you see that as a kid watching that and he's losing his leg, you're gonna be surprised. And it was just showing him trying to get up, and it showed him like with difficulties just trying to stand up straight. But you see Toothless kind of going like we match because he has a broken wing
Yeah.
and he has
Yeah.
a broken leg. And basically you just start seeing so much dragons
Yeah.
in the village, and you see the people getting along with them now. And basically he was just as surprised. He was like, how did this happen? How did we end up back here? Well, since we lost all the boats, we needed a way to come back,
yeah.
and we used the dragons.
Yeah.
It took some time, but we managed.
Yeah.
So now they're in harmony with each other, the dragons and the Vikings, for the first time
Yeah.
in over 1,000 years.
Probably first time ever.
Yeah. And this is the part where you get the dialogue he was saying there was once a time there was like,
Yeah.
beef between the dragons and Vikings, but now it turns out that living together now. And you see Hiccup
Yeah.
riding
Toothless.
around with his broken leg.
It was a good film.
No, it was a really fantastic film. I loved it a lot. That's why I gave it an A for amazing. It deserves a high rating. I'm not going to change my mind because I don't think there's ever going to be another animation from other studios that'll actually do perfect their own craftsmanship.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see though. Maybe this is a wake up call for
Real
for
life
them.
Finding Nemo.
Oh, you better not. But either way, that's all. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys on the next movie review. Later, guys.
Later, guys.